Welcome to Bucks Unlimited Outdoors, where we break down the science of whitetail hunting to help you become a better hunter. If you want to consistently tag mature bucks, you have to understand one thing: weather moves deer. Every year hunters ask, why were the deer moving like crazy today but locked down yesterday? The answer is almost always tied to changing weather conditions. Barometric pressure, wind, temperature drops, and approaching fronts all play a massive role. If you aren't paying attention to the forecast, you're already behind. The difference between a slow hunt and a day full of daylight movement is often just a few degrees or a shift in pressure. Today, we're diving into how different weather conditions impact whitetail movement when you should be in the stand, and what weather patterns trigger mature bucks to get on their feet. Let's get into it. Let's start with one of the biggest, yet most overlooked factors: barometric pressure. You've probably noticed that some days the woods feel alive with deer movement, while others seem completely dead. One of the key reasons? The pressure system. When barometric pressure is rising after a front, deer become more active. The magic number is 30.0 inches of mercury, NHE, or higher. That's when whitetails move most during daylight. Low pressure, especially under 29.8 in HOG, often leads to reduced deer movement. When the pressure is dropping ahead of a storm, bucks tend to lay low. But when that front moves out and pressure spikes back up, get in the stand. This is why cold fronts are gold for hunters. As soon as the rain clears and pressure begins rising, bucks are on their feet. Some of the biggest deer fall right after a front moves through. Now let's talk wind. Many hunters avoid hunting on windy days, but they're missing out. Wind influences where and how deer travel. Studies show that bucks actually move more in moderate winds, around 5 to 15 mph. It gives them a scent advantage while still feeling safe. But when winds hit 20+ mph, deer start locking down in thicker cover. The best way to use wind to your advantage? Hunt bedding areas with the wind in your favor. Bucks often bed where they can watch one direction and scent check the other. If you position yourself where they think they're safe, you'll catch them slipping up. So when is the best time to hunt? Right after a front passes, with rising pressure and a steady breeze. If you see that in the forecast, cancel your plans. You need to be in the woods. Now let's talk about one of the most exciting factors for deer movement: temperature drops. Deer hate extreme heat. When temperatures are above seasonal averages, movement slows down. But when a cold front drops the temperature by 10 to 15 degrees, expect deer activity to skyrocket. This is why the first major cold front of October is often when people start seeing mature bucks in daylight. It flips a switch and makes them move. Colder temps mean more comfortable deer. But it also means higher caloric demand. When it gets cold, deer have to eat more to stay warm. This is especially important in late season when food is scarce. If temperatures drop significantly, bucks will key in on food sources, making them easier to pattern. One of the deadliest combos? A cold snap before the rut. When temperatures drop leading into November, bucks can't afford to sit still. Their biological clock is telling them it's time to breed, and the cooler air makes them more comfortable moving during daylight. That's why some of the biggest bucks are killed on cool, crisp mornings in late October and early November. If you're hunting the rut, watch the temperature trends. A sudden 10-15 degree drop combined with rising pressure is a perfect recipe for big buck movement. The colder it gets, the more aggressive bucks become. If you see cold weather rolling in during peak rut dates, call in sick, take off work, and get in a stand. Now let's break down rain and other major weather factors. A light drizzle? Perfect for still hunting and sitting in a stand. Bucks feel safer moving when rain dampens noise and scent. But heavy downpours shut movement down. When the rain finally stops? Game on! Bucks will get up and move immediately after heavy rain ends. If you see a clearing storm on the radar, be ready. What about snow? Fresh snowfall is one of the best times to hunt. It makes deer feel safer moving in daylight, plus tracking them becomes much easier. Cold, snowy conditions force deer into survival mode. They need to feed more, making them easier to pattern around food sources. Default text, the perfect storm for hunting. A cold front moving in, followed by high pressure and clear skies. If you see dropping temperatures, rising barometric pressure, and post-rain conditions, that's when big bucks fall. So, how do you use this information? Check the forecast. Look for rising pressure, temperature drops, and post-front conditions. If those factors line up, cancel your plans and get in the woods. Want to kill more mature bucks? Watch the weather. Understand how barometric pressure, wind, cold fronts, and rain influence deer movement, and you'll know exactly when to hunt. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let us know what weather patterns have helped you tag big bucks. Stay tuned for more hunting tactics, archery tips, and whitetail strategies from Bucks Unlimited Outdoors.